guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing things that you need to know if you want to take good photos or video. They all kind of apply to both, so if you're into photography or you want to make a YouTube channel, then these are going to be really helpful. They're all just things that when I look at my old videos, I wish someone would have just told me this. All right, let's get into what you guys need to know. All right, so let's say you set up your shoot location, you got your ring light, your tripod, all that ready to go, but you leave this as your background. When I look back at my old videos, I actually can't believe I didn't think to clean up the background. It's such an easy thing to do to just clean up your background. It should only take like 10 or 15 minutes. It'll make your whole video feel more polished because you actually took the time to make sure it looks good. I also like to add some kind of light to the background to make it a little more interesting. So you could do like a neon sign, a table lamp, an LED strip, something like that. It's just gonna make your background a lot more interesting. Okay, the next thing you can focus on to make your videos and photos better is creating a sense of depth. So each shot pretty much has the foreground, middle ground, and the background. So I've seen this challenge going around, the Michaels challenge. You just go to a craft store and try and make it look cool. And this is like the perfect way to show how you can create a sense of depth, even in the most random places. So what we're gonna do is position my friend Mackenzie in the middle of the flowers. So we have some in the foreground and some in the background. Next, I'm gonna grab this fake plant and I'm gonna put it up to the lens to make it kind of blurry and just add a little bit more to the foreground. So this is gonna make it look like we're actually shooting outside and maybe there's a tree or something in front of the lens, so it looks kind of cool. Also, for this particular shoot, it came in handy for blocking out signs that showed we were in a craft store. I also tried it with this yellow wreath, so you just kind of hold it up in front of her and have it in the foreground. Just adding a little something to the foreground can really make portraits a lot more interesting. So when you pay attention to creating a sense of depth, you're gonna be able to get a shot like this rather than just a basic wide shot like this one. Next thing to know are a few photography composition rules. You don't have to absolutely follow these or anything. They're just really common rules that you'll learn in any photography class. So the first one is the rule of thirds. This is basically the idea that if you had a grid, the points that intersect are the points that you should have your subject or whatever you want to draw the viewer to. If you're shooting a travel photo like this one, then you probably would want a person or a landmark to be on the points that intersect. And you can always do like a centered photo, especially if there's a lot of symmetry. It's pretty much to avoid shots like this where someone's just randomly on the side of the photo. And if you want to shoot like this, you can actually turn a 3x3 grid on in your camera, so that way you can easily see if you're lining it up. This will also help you level your shot so it's not going to be crooked. The next one is leading lines. So this is basically when you use the lines in a photo to direct the viewer's eye. So you can do this with a staircase. In this photo, you can see the bridge has these leading lines that are kind of drawing you to it. I think staircases are one of the easiest ways to incorporate this. So if you guys want to try it out, you can go find a cool staircase like this one. So I had Mackenzie sit about in the middle of the stairs, but I shot at a low angle so that it feels like the stairs go on and on for a really long time. I just think this makes the photo look more interesting and dynamic than if she was just standing against a wall or something like that. So this is how some of them turned out. All right, so the last rule is called a frame within a frame, and this is when you use something in the shot to frame your shot. So something like a doorway, a mural, a painting. It can be anything that frames the shot though. You can see in this one, this sort of fountain thing framed it. So it's pretty simple. You just find a frame in real life and put your subject in it in a creative way. So here's some examples of the ones that we shot this day. Everyone loves a great slow-mo montage. It looks really cool, right? But it doesn't look very good if you don't shoot it in the right frame rate. So if you shoot it in 24 frames per second and try and slow it down, it's gonna look all choppy and weird like this. And you definitely don't want that. That does not look good. So a lot of cameras can shoot in 60 frames per second. So if you want to slow down your footage, make sure that you're shooting in a frame rate that's at least double of what you normally would. And the next tip is to make sure that you don't overdo your ISO. So if you're shooting in manual and you have the ISO set too high, it's gonna have all this noise and look kind of grainy and just overall terrible like this. Compared to how it looks here, this is what I would normally set it at. You can see it looks pretty bright, there's no noise, it just looks better all around. So here's an old video to show you guys, like before I did not understand this, it looks terrible. A lot of times this will be tricky if you're shooting something at night because you'll want to bump the ISO up, but just be careful not to do too much. So it's different for every camera model, so you'll have to test it out yourself, but generally most don't look very good over 6,000 ISO. So that's the video, hope that you enjoyed. Comment down below what you think the best tip was, or if you have any of your own tips that you guys want to share, comment it down below and I'll favorite the ones that I think are the best so that people can see them. Give this video a thumbs up if you thought it was helpful, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't, all of that stuff, you know the drill. Also, if you guys want to check out my vlog channel, I've actually been vlogging more again recently, so I'll link that down below. All right, that's it for this video. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.